A moonlit battlefield in feudal Japan, the air thick with tension. A samurai grips his katana, its blade gleaming with an almost unnatural sharpness. But this is no ordinary sword. It's a Muramasa blade, a weapon said to thirst for blood, to drive its wielder to madness, to carry a curse so dark it could topple empires. Welcome to Honsuku, where we dive into the myths, legends, and mysteries that shape our world. And today, we're unraveling the chilling tale of the Muramasa Blades, Japan's infamous cursed swords. It all starts in the heart of the Muromachi period, the 14th to 16th centuries, a time when Japan was torn apart by war and samurai were the ultimate warriors. Among these warriors was Sengo Muramasa, a swordsmith whose name would echo through history not just for his skill, but for the dark legacy his blades would carry. Muramasa was no ordinary craftsman. His swords were masterpieces, razor-sharp, perfectly balanced, and crafted with a precision that made them the envy of every warrior. But there was something else about these blades. Something sinister. The legend of the Muramasa curse begins with whispers. Samurai who wielded these swords spoke of a strange pull, an urge to draw blood that felt almost supernatural. Stories spread that a Muramasa blade, once unsheathed, demanded blood before it could be returned to its scabbard, even if it meant the wielder had to cut themselves, or worse, take their own life. These weren't just tools of war. They were said to have a will of their own, a hunger that drove men to violence, madness, or self-destruction. Why did these blades gain such a terrifying reputation? Some say it was Muramasa himself. Legends paint him as a man teetering on the edge of madness, his fiery temper and relentless pursuit of perfection infusing his creations with a malevolent spirit. Others believe the curse was born from the violent era in which he lived, the Sengoku period, a time of endless conflict where a sword's purpose was to kill and kill well. But the real spark that ignited the curse's infamy? That lies with one of Japan's most powerful families, the Tokugawa. Let's travel to the early 16th century, to the rise of the Tokugawa clan, who would eventually rule Japan as shoguns for over 250 years. Their founder, Tokugawa Ieyasu, was a brilliant strategist, but his family seemed to have a deadly connection to Muramasa Blades. It started with Ieyasu's grandfather, Matsudaira Kiyoyasu, lord of Okazaki Castle. In 1535, Kiyoyasu was betrayed by a retainer named Abe Masatoyo. As Kiyoyasu confronted rumors of treachery, Masatoyo, in a trance-like state, drew his sword, a massive Muramasa Okatana, and struck. The blade sliced through Kiyoyasu's earlobe, and as he turned to flee, a second blow cut him from shoulder to hip, killing him instantly. The tragedy didn't end there. Years later, Ieyasu's father, Matsudaira Hirotada, met a similar fate. One night, woken by an intruder's footsteps, Hirotada pursued, only to find himself wounded, his clothes soaked in blood. The attacker, Iwamatsu Hachiya, was drunk and disoriented, but his weapon? Another Muramasa blade. Then, in a heart-wrenching twist, Ieyasu's own son, Matsudaira Nobuyasu, was forced to commit seppuku ritual suicide in 1579. The Keishakunin, the one who delivered the final blow to end his suffering, wielded a Muramasa. Ieyasu himself wasn't spared. While inspecting a spear, he was accidentally cut by a Muramasa blade wielded by one of his own men. The wound was minor, but the pain was said to be unnaturally intense. These incidents piled up and Ieyasu began to see a pattern. To him, Muramasa blades weren't just sharp, they were cursed, drawn to the blood of his family. By the time he became shogun, he banned the ownership of Muramasa blades, ordering many to be melted down or hidden away. But the most shocking thing is that Ieyasu himself kept a Muramasa blade in his collection, a solid evidence of their undeniable quality despite the fear they inspired. The Tokugawa's misfortunes fueled the legend, but it was the Edo period's kabuki dramas that truly cemented the Muramasa curse in Japanese culture. Plays like Sato Kotoba, Awase Kagami in 1797, and Hachiman Matsuri Yomiya no Nigiwai in 1860 depicted Muramasa blades as demonic forces, driving samurai to commit unspeakable acts. In one story, a samurai named Sano Jirozaemon, wielding a Muramasa, slaughtered dozens in Edo's red light district, his blade supposedly urging him on. Another tale claimed Matsudaira Geiki, driven mad by workplace harassment in 1823, used a Muramasa to kill his superiors in Edo Castle. Though, curiously, records show his sword had no maker's mark. These stories, while often exaggerated, weren't entirely baseless. Muramasa blades were favored by the samurai of Mikawa, Ieyasu's home region, for their incredible sharpness. Naturally, when tragedy struck, these widely used blades were often involved not because of a curse, but because of their prevalence. Yet the myth grew, and by the Bakumatsu period, from 1853 to 1868, anti-Tokugawa rebels, known as shishi, sought out Muramasa blades as symbols of defiance. Even Prince Arasugawa Taruhito, a commander in the Boshin War against the shogunate, wielded one, adding to their rebellious mystique. So, what made a Muramasa blade so special? Let's talk craftsmanship. Muramasa's swords were known for their Gunyome Midere Hamana, wavy, almost chaotic temper line that gave the blade its signature beauty and deadly edge. The Nakago, or Tang, had a distinctive fish belly shape called Tanagobara, setting them apart from other swords. One blade, the Myoho Muramasa, even bears a mantra from the Lotus Sutra, hinting at a spiritual side to Muramasa's work. These weren't just weapons, they were art, forged with a level of skill that even the Tokugawa couldn't deny. But the question still remains. Was the curse real, or was it a product of superstition and circumstance? Some argue Muramasa's relentless perfectionism imbued his blades with an intense energy, a reflection of his own volatile spirit. Others point to the violent Sengoku era, where any sword was a tool of death, and Muramasa's just happened to be the sharpest. Skeptics, though, see a simpler explanation: confirmation bias. The Tokugawa's high-profile tragedies were scrutinized, and with Muramasa blades so common among their samurai, it was easy to pin the blame on a curse. But another shocking fact in present day is that despite their cursed reputation, Muramasa blades are still prized by collectors. Authentic ones, like the wakizashi displayed at Tokyo's Tuken Ranbu store in 2021, or the collection at Kawana Museum in 2016, fetch millions. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know what other myths you want us to explore. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give us a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more tales of mystery and legend. Until next time, stay curious and watch your back, especially if you're holding a Muramasa blade. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.